Well, first, would love to thank everybody that came out. Before the game, it's, coming in early this morning, the snow's coming, it's a little bit icy. You don't know how it's going to impact the crowd, but what a great turnout. I know that we were impacted a little bit, but you never would have known it looking at the crowd. So appreciate everybody coming out and supporting us. And another good team win at home. I mean, our kids have really taken a lot of pride in protecting home court. One of their goals this season is to be undefeated. So, just to continue to chip away at that and protect home court, and just appreciate everybody coming out. And another good win at home. I wish we would have put a stretch together like we had in the second half for the whole game, but as a coach, you're always looking for perfection. So, but I thought our kids, I thought we had a really, really good stretch there in the second half. I thought we started the game pretty well, but then we got, we hit a couple shots early, and then I think we relaxed a little bit on the defensive end of the floor. But, some more really good performances by a lot of our kids again. So how is Paige? I think she'll be fine. She's had trouble with her shoulder ever since I got here. So, she gets it hits a little bit loose, kind of, I don't know, we call it a stinger. I haven't talked to our performance team yet, medical staff, but from everything I know from when she was on the floor to coming off the floor, I think it's similar to what she's dealt with before. Managing pain. Glad we're not playing in 2 days, so time will be, to benefit us there, but just have to get our performance team working on it like they usually do, and hopefully it doesn't impact us. But I don't know much more than that at this point, but I think she'll be okay.
What was it about that third quarter run to where you guys did have a little bit of perfection in there, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think at halftime just really talked about, locking in, having more discipline on the defensive end of the floor. I didn't think we defensively were very good at all in the second quarter. Just one-on-one, getting beat off the dribble, helping off with some shooters, not impacting the ball, letting them kind of pass the ball wherever they wanted. So I thought defensively we just really at halftime talked about tightening up to kind of what our game plan was originally. And, our kids just finally locked into it. And, it's a close game at halftime, so they knew they had to. And then I thought that really certainly spurred us offensively, because now you're getting stops. Now we're getting out in transition. I thought we did a lot better job. We talked about, not just settling, but really I thought we could take them off the dribble, get to the basket. I thought collectively everybody started doing a better job of that. It was multiple people that were driving it and getting it in the paint for inside-out touches and things like that. So I think just a little bit more mentally locked in and focused to what we needed to do.
We talked a lot about how this team is coming along, right? Obviously, came in, Kira, they've come along since last year's freshman year. Now Lainey's coming along in step. I mean, truly, how beneficial is it for this team to have a great first unit, but also a great second unit that can keep up that sustained run you guys want?
Well, it's huge. I mean, if they don't have the kind of year and they're not playing the way that they are, we're not in the position we're in right now. I mean, we don't win as many games as we've won, and it's a whole different ball game. So, I mean, they've been huge for us all year. Coming off the bench for us, Laney's needed to start one game, came in and really set the tone for us. I mean, just like I've said all along, I think we could have from the jump started a number of different kids and gone with different lineups, and obviously settled in on this one early, and there's been no reason to change it. I think all those kids have really earned those positions, and then I think it, especially early on, really allowed Kamen to settle in and Laney to kind of see the game from the bench a little bit and then come in, and those kids have really impacted us. But there's no question about it. If they don't have the type of years that they've had, we're in a whole different situation, and they've been great.
For Laney, she didn't play a lot of minutes tonight, but she still found the double digits. I mean, she's now scored 10 or more in 7 of her last 8 games. I asked her maybe what kind of clicked for her, and she said, well, Coach got on to me and was like, hey, you got to get that motor run. We need you a little bit more. So what is it about whatever you said to her between then and now that's just made her this key player that's really come in and can benefit when Sarah goes out?
Yeah, I mean, I think Laney's always had a ton of potential. That's why we brought her here. And we knew as a freshman that she really needed to impact us. And, she's played meaningful minutes all year long. It's really kind of been a tag team between her and Sarah. And so you've got the veteran with a ton of experience, and then you've got the youth who's just trying to figure it out. And so I think Sarah has been somebody that's been great for Laney to look up to, and how Sarah approaches everything. And then for Laney, it's just, sometimes as a freshman, you don't have the same sense of urgency because you think you have all these years ahead of you. You have all these games on your schedule, you have all these years ahead of you. And so more than anything, just talking to her about just having this sense of urgency every time she steps on the floor, really locking in to the defensive scout and to personnel, and just how important she is to, to play at a high level, and just to go out and just compete and work her tail off, and her talent will take care of itself. And I think that's what she's done. She's come out and she's just really competed and gotten after it, and she's put herself in a position. She's playing her best basketball probably of her career. You look all the way through, and then fortunately, I was a little bit concerned, as you always are with a freshman, and she's played a lot of minutes and probably more basketball than she's ever played, just because she's dealt with some injuries too. So I think, as much as you might look at her stats, sometimes in the back of my mind I'm like, maybe the blessing in disguise is like she didn't have to play 25 and 30 minutes because she's a freshman, and it's physical in there, and just I think over the duration of a season, hopefully that benefits us, where she's not hitting that wall. So I think we've tried to be really cognizant of trying to keep her healthy and fresh, and with a bounce in her step more than anything.
And now you got to play the gauntlet, right? You got to go against 4 teams that are breathing down your neck for the top spot in the Valley. Why is this group maybe either different from the last couple of years, or they're just their own separate unit? Why is this unit prepared to go on that 4-game road stretch?
I think at this point in the season, February is always a grind, right? Like it's always a grind, and then before you know it, you're in the conference tournament and fighting for postseason. So I don't know. I think regardless who is on our schedule, you always kind of look at this last stretch as the gauntlet. And I don't care if it's going to UNI and Drake, who you're, jockeying for position, or, I look at it just as likely, like, I wouldn't want to have to travel to Valpo right now. So, it's whoever on your schedule, you got to be ready to play. Our team has been focused all year. We've had success on the road. It's kind of business as usual. We'll have our same, turnaround time, preparation, things like that, and go give everybody our best shot like we have all year.
So you notice nothing different. This is just kind of going through the schedule and the results and seeing these last couple of years when you guys haven't been in this position since you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
First place, all alone in first place now. Do you notice any change in these girls as you try to make this championship push when you have this stretch ahead?
I just think, I've said it from day one, I think we have a hungry group, and whether it was kids that hadn't played, kids that had transferred here, I feel like they all kind of had just a chip on their shoulder, just that hungry mentality of wanting something more. And so I think the biggest thing I notice is this is a group that that's not inconsistent with their effort. They are consistently coming to practice, working hard, focused, paying attention to the detail with scout and report, regardless of who you're playing, and human nature sometimes when you're playing somebody who's, record's not as good as yours, and, have a tendency to I saw a lot of maturity from our kids, when we go on the road and we handled SIU like we handled SIU. You can kind of go down the line. We've had other teams that have gone in and not handled games like that with the kind of maturity that we have. And so I think that's said a lot to me about our team, because I don't have to get them up to play Drake. I don't have to get them up to play UNI or Illinois State, those teams that they know we're going to fight it out for. But the biggest difference to me is the ones that maybe aren't competing for a championship but can keep you from competing for the championship. That's where our team's had a lot of maturity, and that's where this team has been different than other teams, of not allowing themselves to go in and relax and not handle business, and we've been more proactive than reactive, versus we go on the road playing a team the record says we should beat, and now we're in a dogfight because we haven't been focused. And so I just think we have a mature team that's hungry, and so that's probably the biggest difference I've seen. And we'll see how it plays out down, for this final stretch, but there's a ton of basketball left for everybody. There's going to be a lot of jockeying for position. We just have to, as we always do, take it one game at a time and try to just chip away one at a time and see what happens.
Lacey Stokes said the same exact thing. That was your last sentence there. And
What was that?
one game at a time,
Oh.
chipping away, and I called her out on it. I was like, "You sound like an echo of your coach." Kira laughed. How much do you notice that? Do you hear her saying the same thing? Because it just sounds like a.
The weird thing is, Lacey and I have gotten to the point where, and we've noticed it and we've laughed, we'll like end each other's sentence, or we'll say the same thing at the same time, or I'll call a play and she'll say it at the same time. We're both like, wow, and we just kind of look at each other and laugh. But we've had a couple instances like that, that, God, I can't imagine what it would have been like for 4 years, but this is like a year and a half or whatever. So I think we're on the same wavelength, and she's the head of the snake, and she's got a great group around her. But I don't know. I think it's just been a mature, hungry group, and I'm excited. I'm excited to I think I said it last week. More than anything, you want to be playing your best basketball this season as you're heading into conference play. We're going to go through what 5 of the best 6 teams, or whatever it is. However it ends up playing out, but that is going to get us ready for the conference tournament more so than anything else. Just because you're going to have to be playing your best basketball this season. You're playing the best teams. I think that'll get us more ready, quite honestly, than anything.
Have you noticed a change in Lacey since the foot injury? She said she's taken everything in a little bit more, noticing it's her senior year. I mean, it scared the heck out of all of us.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a flip in her since she was taken out of that?
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing I worry about, especially somebody like a Lacey or any of our seniors, is they want it so bad that the harder you try, sometimes it starts to feel like you're forcing things. And so I think more than anything, we had one point, one stretch during one point of the season, and I felt like she wants it so bad and she's trying so hard. It was like, you got to trust your work. You got to trust what you've done. You got to trust your preparation and go out and have fun and play. And so more than anything, I don't know if I've noticed a change, but I just worry about our kids wanting it so bad that then it goes the other way. So it's like and I think she's been much more relaxed, and that might seem to be an odd word because she's never relaxed, but I think trusting your work, trusting your preparation, just trusting that you've done everything you can do, and then just go out and play the game and have fun and let the end results take care of themselves, see what happens.